Hi, I'm Diana from Team Lemons. I'm a social entrepreneur who's interested in how we can apply artificial intelligence for social good. On our team, we have Swapple, a data scientist with experience in the education industry, who will be also talking to us later in this presentation. On our team, we also have Vinay, a data scientist with experience in banking, and Aryan, a computer science student. Our team explored how conversational artificial intelligence and gamification can be leveraged to help prepare our youth for their financial future, which today, in summer 2020, it seemed that you can never be too prepared to weather out the storms. Half of Canadians struggle to cover their daily living expenses. Debt and financial stress has a real impact on one's relationships, one's mental and physical health. It is therefore important to explore what interventions we can do at an early age because we start to understand financial concepts, develop habits, and relationships with money early on. Not all youth have access to financial literacy programs, and the ones that do, the verdict is still out whether or not they actually have an impact on the child's financial future, even if they can demonstrate understanding the concepts. The kinds of questions that we decided to focus on were what kind of learning could actually have an impact on a child's financial future, and how can conversational AI or gamification contribute? What kind of features would it have? What would it look like? What kind of architecture should we consider to get a prototype that we can start testing as soon as possible? This presentation is a product of one iteration of the process outlined. To better understand the problem, we conducted secondary research, open-ended interviews, and piloted surveys with various stakeholders, such as parents, banks, and financial advisors. In looking at the stakeholders, it's important to distinguish between the customers, which can be parents, guardians, or educators, and the users, which are the youth, the children, and we focused, for this time, on children from 8 to 12 years old. It is equally important to distinguish between features that can lead to engagement or impact. Features that engage the child are necessary to incorporate, but we didn't see them as sufficient on their own to ensure that they can have a positive learning outcome. For example, a child can engage with a video game for long periods of time, but that will not necessarily lead to positive financial habits in the future. We mapped key features onto a Venn diagram indicating whether they could lead to engagement, impactful learning, or a mix of both. You'll see that gamification and social factors such as recognition or participation are both important to engage the child and help with learning. Gamification, for example, if designed right, is not only more engaging, but can also help overcome one of the key barriers to actual healthy financial behaviors, such as saving and investing, by using immediate rewards, like points, to bridge the gap between the now and an abstract, hypothetical future. This gap is what often leads people to spend on things they want but don't need and potentially compromise their future. Games can also invite opportunities to bond with parents or guardians and give real-life experiences that are relevant, such as having a shared savings goal to plan for a vacation. This also addresses the concerns that we heard from parents that an app or online program could take them away and consume most of their time. What about a conversational chatbot? How does that come into play? Well, it seems to be very important for engagement, especially if you add on features such as voice-to-text function, or making it have a fun personality, and even better, having them impersonate their favorite character. Also, by exposing a child to financial concepts through a fun conversation, this can potentially act as a catalyst for the child to ask questions to their parents or guardians about money. This is important. Actually, one study found that parents speak more to their children about money simply because the child asks them more questions. We also came up with ideas on the features of this gamified chatbot based on the underlying motivation that the child would have to engage with the program and the other stakeholders involved. For example, at school it could be part of a curriculum and act as somewhat a homework assistant. With parents or guardians, they can participate together in goal setting. They can also be motivated to play the game on their own if it's interesting enough or impersonates their favorite character, or they can be competitive or wish to connect with peers online. Based on the research and the maps of ideas, we came up with a list of must-have features that we wanted our first demo to work towards. It must have a fun personality, voice-to-text function, stay focused on the topic because we know that kids will test their boundaries, guardian supervision and participation, protect child's data, perform basic calculations, monitor progress towards a goal, and have some sort of reward system. We also thought it'd be really important to have some sort of real money bank integration capabilities. 75% of Canadians say they wish they had saved more when they were younger. So why not start now? Here's an example of what we envision for a complete gamified chatbot where the parents, guardians are participants and customers. They can participate in shared goal setting, such as saving up for vacation, and also help their children learn about the work value of money by exchanging money for chores. Parents can also be signaled about a child having special interest in a topic in their conversation with the chatbot. Now I'm going to leave you with one of our data scientists to go over how we went about constructing our very first demo.
Thanks, Diana. So for getting all the features, we decided to explore some chatbot platforms. We explored Microsoft Bot Framework, Amazon Lex, IBM Watson, Diagflow, Rasa, and Hugging Face. And we realized it would be better for us to stick with an open source library, which also has good customer support. So we basically stuck with Rasa going forward. So in terms of the solutions architecture, we want to make a Rasa-based mobile or web app that allows us to set profiles for guardians, youths, and teachers, has goals feature, guardian controls feature, personalization feature, and gamification capabilities, which can, and we can store the data in a database which is encryption and privacy controlled. And the app should be able to connect with banks, books and stories on finance, websites, schools, and social media platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp and Telegram. The reasons we chose Rasa Stack was it's Python-based and open source. It allows full data control through in-house type databases. It allows customization and state-of-art NLP methods through Rasa Open Code Library. It has a rising community support. I'll talk about it in a bit. It allows for easy integration with apps like Slack, Telegram, and Facebook. That would be healthy for our purpose. It allows interactive bot training through RasaX GUI, which is really handy because people don't have to know coding because they can just go into RasaX GUI and start training the bot and store all the data in a database and serve the answers to users as well. It also allows voice apps. So for training and deployment of the chatbot, we'll follow the following curve. We'll first build the minimum viable assistant using Rasa open source local, and then we'll try to improve the assistant by talking to it through RasaX server. Then we'll hand it out to test users, which can chat with the bot online through RasaX GUI, and we can get some feedback and try improving the bot there. And then we can actually send it out to real users and continue to improve the bot. So here's an example of RasaX GUI where you can actually converse with the chatbot. And this pencil icon allows you to make any modifications when you think like the bot is not responding correctly. Slots is a feature where actually the Rasa allows us to store some variables so that we can remember the context. And then stories how the flow of the bot should flow like, and we can keep making new stories based on new data that we get. We can also make sure that we can annotate new data and make sure like we are identifying the correct intent and what's the confidence. One means good confidence. We can then share these to users and we can follow the trajectory as mentioned previously. We are inspired by some demo assistants like Anna, which is a voice-based assistant with avatars, which would be handy with kids. There's a bank which made an app, chatbot app, to help people with any small FAQs, and it allows them to work with banks. So privacy and human things have been added. Human support has been added. There's an educational app called Nora, which can show videos or answer some basic questions by a simple trivial search. And then there's an app called Lola, which is an example of gamified learning and helps people get into better sleep habits by first asking them to get a fitness tracker, then ensuring that they consolidate the sleeping window, and then support some therapies if needed. In terms of our goals for the next few months, we will add investing feature, gamification design, start training within the team, and then start handing it out to users in the second round. We'll add a basic video of that and then do some risk analysis. On the longer term, we'll start sending it out to real customers, integrating with schools, platforms, and start testing it on with test users. On the long term, we'll personalize the app, We'll get banks and virtual money involved, start rolling it out to schools, maybe make a version for teenagers because they would have acquired those customers, and also organize financial literacy competitions. Thank you.